Hey everybody, it's Gail, and today I have stockings. Ooh. So this comes to us from a 1960s mail order pattern. You work it with worsted weight and a G-hook. And when I say a G-hook, I mean a 4.5 millimeter. I don't remember off the top of my head now if the pattern specifically said a G-hook or a 4.5 millimeter. It can vary. G-hooks and vintage patterns can also be 4.25s or 4s. So it's a matter of matching to the gauge, and that's what I did. I got the correct width and I went with it. So this is built specifically to not require any heel shaping. You just work from the toes up, and the V-stitch provides the elasticity, there we go, to fit your leg as it goes up. Now, there is a downside to that, which is that you may need to adjust a little if you don't have whatever they thought were, average sized calves in the 1960s. I don't. Mine are a little too big. I ended up adding a V-stitch at row 9 and row 23. And that got me the fit that I have, which is very good. The only reason I'm not in them for the video is because I would be shooting from the waist down the whole time, and that's always a little awkward. Once you get to the top of the sock, you work a shell stitch pattern to make the little stocking top there. And in my case, I took some of my elastic and just worked it along with the stitches so that I had that extra bit of hold. And on this one, works great, stays up, no problem. On the other one, which is like just slightly larger, seriously like the tiniest bit larger, this one kept falling down when I was wearing it the other day. So I'm going to go in. What I'm going to do is just pick a couple of spots where I can easily grab the elastic. I'm going to pull it. I'm going to put them on, pull that in, tie it off, and then that will help it stay put. So that's something to keep in mind if you decide to just carry the elastic along like I did. I do recommend it. Especially if you have, the best way to describe it is if your thigh is larger than your knee, you're going to need a little help keeping these up. These are very straight socks. And so if you don't have a very straight leg, you're going to need to do a little tinkering here and there. The other thing is that the original pattern says it only takes 25 rows to get to the length of the sock. That is not true for me because I did not actually meet the requirement of the V-stitches were supposed to be, I think, an inch tall each, or like 2 rows was an inch, and mine were a little bit smaller than that, and I'm already working on a couple of different projects with long double crochets, and I was not in the mood for another one. So I just kind of said fuck that, and I just kept working up until I had what I needed, and the instructions say if it's not long enough, keep adding rows. So no hardship there. I really like these. I've been wearing them pretty much as I can. They work really well as just like sitting around. Maybe you're a little bit cold, but like slippers are a little too warm because they're V-stitch. So it works really well for that. I will say, if you have sensory issues with your feet, if you're picky about your socks, or if you just have feet that get sore very easily, this is not going to be a stitch pattern that's going to be friendly to you. I've worn these now a few times, and it's softened up as I've walked on it. So it does improve, but I would suggest I just used a 100% wool yarn, and I don't know a lot of details about it because I don't remember. But get a really nice, really soft yarn, I think, for these is the best way to do it. This is not a hard yarn, but it does have, that 100% wool. We want it to feel like wool feeling. So it's a little bit rough, which means it's a little harsher on the feet. But totally workable. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I mentioned, it took 3 skeins of Hobby Friends wool. That's what I used for these, along with that 4.5 millimeter. Worked up real nice. Ended up having enough left over to start a new project, which then required me to order more wool, which required me to order more yarn in general from Hobby, because if I'm going to be on that website to buy 2 skeins of yarn, I'm going to buy enough yarn I don't have to pay shipping. So yeah, that's how I end up with so much yarn waiting for projects, as I plan ahead like that. But also, the last thing I want to mention is I love mail order patterns. Like, I love the idea of them. I've done a few at this point. The vest I did a little while back, that was a mail order pattern. I have a ton of them. I will link to the website where I found a bunch. It's vintageknitcrochet.net. Whole bunch there. And then there was one more thing. I know there was. There's no mistakes in the pattern. VintageKnitCrochet.net. That's why I got them. Oh, I remember. If you know of a like mail order pattern setup, like what this pattern came from, which was you would pay a fee and they would send you a pattern every month, I would love to know about it. I know that there are subscription boxes that are patterns with yarn. I am not looking to add more yarn to the collection. I just want the patterns. So if anybody knows of anything like that, would love to get my hands on it, try it out. And yeah, I think that's the show for this video. As always, if you enjoy what I do here, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, leave a comment, all that fun stuff. And I update about every 10 days, so I will see you in 10 days.